The EQ, the most potent plugin or piece of hardware in your mixing arsenal. But make these mistakes and you could be ruining your mixes. Let's dive straight in. One thing that definitely won't be ruining your mixes is my free vocal EQ cheat sheet. You can use it every time to help you when you're mixing your vocals. You can grab yours for free right now from the link below this video. So firstly, you don't actually need to use your high pass filter on every single track. What you really need to be doing is asking yourself the question, does this track need a high pass filter? Let's think about a mix with a drum kit and a piano. We're going to want to bring in a high pass filter to slope off some of that low frequency information which is going to overlap with our kick drum. That's going to give our kick drum plenty of clarity down there in the bottom of the mix. But now if we think about a mix that's just got a piano and a vocal, now we won't necessarily want to reach for our high pass filter at all, because we want some of that low end frequency richness that's going to fill out our mix and not interfere with our vocal. The trick with the high pass filter is just to avoid being on high pass filter autopilot and think and listen before you slap it on every single track. Now let's go all the way to the other end of the frequency spectrum and talk about applying a high shelf. Now when a beginner starts mixing, they're going to hear when they reference other tracks a real vibrancy and brilliance to those tracks, and it's a bit of a rookie error to then start applying a high shelf to lots and lots of tracks all at once, because you're going to find pretty soon that your mixes sound quite harsh and brittle. Now the best solution for this is simply just to apply a high shelf to 1 or 2 tracks only. Typically your main vocals or the drum overheads. It is amazing how just applying a high shelf just to 1 or 2 tracks can lift the lid of the whole mix. When it comes to applying that high shelf, when you're looking for brilliance and vibrancy from your track, focus on the tracks that will really benefit, like the vocals and the overheads, and leave the rest alone. Are you enjoying this content? Have you got questions about applying an EQ? Drop them in the comments box below. My next EQ fail is trying to repair irreparable sounds with EQ. Yes, we can do so much these days with modern technology and so many plugins at our disposal. But when it comes down to producing and mixing, sometimes the skill is knowing when to carry on persisting with the sound or when to send it back to the artist and say, look, you need to record this again, because simply you're just trying to fix a problem rather than actually EQing the mix. And on the flip side, trying to EQ something that simply doesn't need EQing can be just as destructive. Sometimes again, being on autopilot with EQ can mean that you're trying to polish something up when actually what you're doing is taking away the natural beauty of the instrument. Another massive EQ move that could be killing your mix is to mix in solo. I always use guitars as a great example of this, because you can isolate a guitar and get an awesome guitar tone, but if you're simply bringing it then back into the mix and it's not working, then it's not benefiting the mix. You're much better off working with that guitar tone within the mix. Now if you're struggling to hear that guitar when you're working within the mix, here's a great little tip. Just simply put on a gain plugin at the end of your plugin chain, bring up about 6 dB so you can hear that instrument a lot clearer. When you're finished mixing, just get rid of the plugin. Here's a big EQ move that's definitely going to be ruining your mix, and that's applying EQ when you're overtired. If you've been working on the mix for a while, you start to find yourself going around in circles and you start to lose perspective of that EQ. So now's the time to walk away from that project and come back another day. But if you need to get it done for a deadline, then certainly take a break. But create a save as at that point. Then at least when you carry on mixing for another half an hour or hour, you've got a point of reference. You can go back and see if you are still making progress with your EQ decisions. If you're really serious about leveling up your EQ knowledge and your mix skills from your home studio, I've got an all access pass. You can access it for free for 7 days just by following the link below this video. There's over 10 hours of home studio tuitional content. You'll also receive the keys to the home studio, closed community, and exclusive monthly content. And my final EQ no-no is not using reference tracks. I know some people that feel that using reference tracks is in some way cheating or impinging on their artistic creativity, but I don't believe that for a second. Using reference tracks is crucial to help you get in the ballpark of where you want to be in your chosen genre. I have a folder on my desktop of a whole bunch of my favorite mixes and recordings of a whole bunch of different genres, and I'll pull them out, multiple ones when I'm working with tracks, that's a surefire way to check that you are in the ballpark. What EQ fails have you encountered? Let me know in the comments box below. I want to hear from you. Whilst you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to grab that free vocal EQ cheat sheet too. Do go and have yourself a great day, and if you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to want to check this one out.